of war. Diplomats from other empires leaned forward eagerly, expecting pleas for negotiation, reparations, or surrender. But in the hidden shipyards of Luna, Mars, and Titan, the silence was filled with sound. The clang of armor plating, the hum of fusion cores, the loading of railgun slugs the size of skyscrapers. When Earth spoke, it was not through embassies. It was through a single transmission that rippled across every frequency in the galaxy. You drew first blood, you slaughtered our people. There will be no negotiation. Earth does not forget, Earth does not forgive. Earth answers with retribution. And then the fleets began to move. IV, the Steel Armada. The galaxy had never seen such mobilization. From the Uit shipyards, dreadnoughts larger than cities drifted free, their hulls dark until they ignited with light, entire constellations of war machines moving as one. From Earth's oceans rose suborbital carriers, launching into the void with thunder, releasing wings of gunships built for planetary sieges. From Mars came the legions of Titan, armored infantry bred for zero-gravity combat, soldiers who carried rail cannons as if they were rifles. And then came the Terran Colossus class, warships so massive they bent gravitational fields around them, blotting out suns as they passed. Every system aligned, every weapon primed. Humanity had prepared for centuries, never speaking of what they built in the shadows. Now, the galaxy learned what Earth had been hiding. The storm falls. The Korth fleet waited in orbit over one of their stronghold worlds, confident and arrogant still. When the Terran Armada arrived, it did not come quietly. It came like a wall of night. Sensors overloaded. Suns vanished behind the mass of Earth's ships. Communications were drowned out by a single signal, the slow, steady toll of a Terran war chime, an ancient sound of battle repurposed for space. The Korth commander sneered, sending his fleets forward. They lasted minutes. Terran dreadnoughts unleashed salvos of kinetic rounds accelerated to near-light speed, each impact breaking ships apart like glass. Plasma lances cut through fleets, igniting engines, vaporizing carriers. The legions of Titan descended onto Korth soil, their landing craft tearing through atmosphere like meteors. Cities that once laughed at humanity's weakness crumbled in hours. Orbital platforms shattered. Ground forces burned. Entire continents were drowned in precision bombardment. And above it all, Terran fleets moved forward relentlessly, their formations cold, perfect, unstoppable. Retribution without mercy. The Korth begged for parley. They sent transmissions filled with panic, promising to retreat, to surrender colonies, to make reparations. Earth's fleets did not answer. The Terran Colossus, Iron Wrath, aligned its main cannon, a weapon that drew power from captured stars. With one pulse, it cracked the crust of a Korth world, oceans boiling, mountains splitting. Billions died screaming as the surface tore itself apart. One by one, Korth strongholds fell. Entire species allied to them fled, terrified by the fury unleashed. The Dominion, once arrogant and loud, became a scattered whisper across the void. Human soldiers marked each battlefield with silence, leaving behind only wreckage. Their message was clear: Earth does not start wars, but it ends them. The aftermath of ashes. Weeks later, the galaxy was quiet. The Korth Dominion no longer existed. Its worlds were dust, its fleets burned, its people scattered to the winds. What had once been an empire was now a scar on the star maps, avoided by merchants and travelers alike. Among alien councils, silence reigned. No one mocked Earth now. No one spoke lightly of Terrans. Whispers spread like shadows. Never provoke Earth. Their patience is vast, but their vengeance is infinite. On distant stations, bartenders spoke in hushed voices about fleets blotting out suns. Refugees swore they saw soldiers falling like storms, faceless and merciless. Even the bravest empires avoided Terran space, fearful that the quiet humans would one day remember another insult. Humanity returned to silence. Their fleets retreated. Their people rebuilt. They did not gloat, they did not declare dominance, they did not claim the Korth's territory. But the lesson had been carved into the galaxy's bones. Earth's answer was not diplomacy. It was retribution. The alien warship descended over the human colony of Lysara IV like a shadow falling across the sun. The planet was young, its cities still rising, its people still planting fields and laying the foundations of a future. Children played under transparent domes, unaware that death was already written into the skies above them. The aggressors were the Vadran Collective, a predatory race who believed the galaxy belonged to them alone. They came not for resources, not for diplomacy, but for amusement. Broadcasts were sent down to the colony before the first strike. Humans, you breed too quickly. You settle where you are not welcome. Today you will learn what happens when lesser creatures ignore the warnings of the galaxy's true rulers. The fleet opened fire. Beams of plasma tore through defensive shields as if they were paper. Orbital strikes flattened cities into ash. The proud towers of Lysara's capital, New Dawn, fell in minutes. The screams of millions were cut short, silenced in a storm of fire. And when the slaughter was complete, the Vadran commander ordered a final broadcast. His face, scaled and sneering, filled every surviving screen. This is your lesson, humans. Do not rebuild here. Do not rebuild anywhere. You are prey, not rivals. Remember this before we remind you again. Then, laughing, they departed, leaving the planet a smoking grave. The Feast of Mockery. For the Vadran, victory was not just conquest, it was humiliation. Across their empire, hollow screens replayed the destruction of Lysara IV, cut and edited into a spectacle. The fall of New Dawn was shown like a performance. The shrieks of humans were mixed into celebratory chants. The galaxy watched. Other species whispered, would Earth endure this? Would humanity bow? Would they cower and plead for mercy? In the Council of Stars, the Vadran delegates stood tall and mocked. Humans call themselves bold, but look at them now. They hide on their little blue world silent. They will do nothing. They are too new, too fragile, too naive. They cling to their laws of peace and diplomacy, while real empires rule with strength. Other races nodded. Humanity had always been too patient, too willing to negotiate. They had walked cautiously into the interstellar arena, shaking hands where others raised blades. Surely, they reasoned, Earth would not respond. The silence before the storm. But silence does not always mean surrender. Sometimes silence means calculation. In the deep command halls beneath Earth's surface, leaders spoke with voices made of iron. There were no cheers, no laughter, no bluster. Only one sentence spoken again and again. This will not go unanswered. Hidden fleets stirred in shadowed docks, ships whose existence had never been admitted in diplomatic channels. Engines rumbled awake. Weapons older than treaties, sharper than any threat, were prepared. Across the solar system, coded orders flashed. Colonies that had seemed peaceful revealed vast armories. Civilian yards converted overnight into shipwrights of war. Every human world became a forge. The Vadran thought humanity was weak because they saw open hands and treaties. They never looked closely enough to see the other hand, clenched into a fist, waiting. The silence of Earth was not fear. It was the sound of steel being sharpened. The awakening of Retribution. It began without warning. The first Vadran fleet to vanish was stationed in the Kelnar expanse. Their last transmission was confusion, shadows blotting out their sensors, strange signals flooding their comms. When reinforcements arrived, all they found was wreckage, ships torn open as if by colossal claws, drifting lifeless through the void. Then came the message, a transmission repeated on every Vadran frequency, spoken in a voice that was unmistakably